You are now listening to Dear Dope Chick, a weekly podcast created to inspire and energize women to live life on their own terms. I'm your host, Felicia, and here's today's dose of dope. Dear Dope Chick, welcome and welcome back. How you feeling today? How you living today? Are you ready today to take some action? For those of you who are new here, who haven't been here in quite a while, or have been rocking with me since day one, Dear Dope Chick is an action-based podcast. So what does that mean? That means that every single episode, you are challenged to take one step that aligns with living life on your own terms. That means you're taking a step today, no matter how you want to label it, that aligns with the lifestyle that you most desire. Whether you take that step today is not up to me, it's not up to your mama, it's not up to your coworkers, it's not up to your significant other, it's not up to your children, it's not up to your circumstances. It doesn't matter about any of those things. What matters is that you have decided to do something and you take an action step towards it. The desire comes from you. You are the person who evokes the change in your life. What do you want to do? What do you feel inclined to do? Where is your focus today? What difference do you want to see in your life? You owe it to yourself to steer your life in the direction that you've always wanted to go, and you can do that for yourself today. It takes one step, and that one step can happen right now. Today's action is to accept that anything is possible. Anything, P? Yes, anything is possible. We've lived through some wild times. We have some stories, okay? We can tell a lot of different things about what has gone on in this world, what has gone on in our personal lives. Things that are damn near unbelievable has happened to us, to people around us. We've witnessed so much in life. Things we never thought would happen in those moments happened. It didn't require predictability for those things to take place. It happened. You probably didn't even see the shit coming. Worst case scenarios, best case scenarios, unprecedented scenarios all describe how life works. It happens. Sometimes there's a known catalyst. Sometimes the catalyst is yet to be found. And essentially, none of that matters. That's the whole point of taking this action today. Accepting that anything is possible gives you the opportunity to absolve yourself of rationale, to absolve yourself of worry, to absolve yourself of headache. It's not about how. It happened. This component of acceptance is radical. So we're going to be talking about radical acceptance. What is radical acceptance? It is choosing to see things as they are by making a conscious and concerted effort to accept what has transpired without judgment. That shit already sounds impossible, right? How do you look at a situation and accept it without imparting your judgment, or without placing your biases on it, or without categorizing it with labels? Let me remind you that anything is possible. Anything. So you practicing radical acceptance is also possible. Yes, you can do this. Over the course of the week, continue to employ this radical acceptance by living as though anything is possible. Anything can happen, right? The first step to living life on your own terms is accepting. Accept that it's already happened. It's done. Done deal. How you've behaved in the past has happened. What you've done is done. You cannot change that part of your life. As much as you may feel regret about some of the choices that you've made, changing those choices would alter who you are in this moment. And who you are in this moment is essential to your growth, to any future growth you want to have or you have your eyes set on, to creating an environment for all of your desires to transpire. You in this moment are needed. You're essential to this process. This version of you is a part of the process. Accept that. That's the first step. The continued action is to live as though anything is possible. That means that you are living your life freely. You are living your life seeing the possibilities, seeing the opportunities. You are living your life knowing that, yes, this moment is happening right now, but this doesn't have to always be the moment. I can change my moments. What I'm doing right now is not what I have to be doing now. Because right when you say I'm doing this now, you're not doing it anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's already past. That moment is past. So that's really the past that you're talking about. So when you find yourself off track and you're like, oh man, I'm so distracted right now, you can say, I was distracted and now I'm choosing to focus, because now is where you take the action. Radical acceptance is not a fear-based practice. It requires a faith-based attitude. You are living as though everything is working out how it's supposed to work out. This strategy, this intentional way of life can present itself difficult to execute due to our programming throughout the years. We've been programmed to see good and bad, to have an emotional reaction to good and bad, to only accept that good and to push away that bad. We've categorized everything in our life as good and bad. You have a villain and you have a hero. You have hot, you have cold, you have happy and you have sad. Allow your visceral reactions to situations and opportunities to act as feedback as to where the work needs to begin. Where do you need to work? Those emotions, those reactions, those feelings are telling you something about where you are right now. Go in with a judgment-free lens and see about your emotional reactions. See about yourself. Just because you're disappointed doesn't make whatever you've experienced bad. Just because you're excited doesn't make whatever you've experienced good. Why does that have to be good? Why does that have to be bad? Life is. And your emotions simply are too. They aren't good, they aren't bad, they are. So when you have a certain reaction to someone close to you, let's say the person has passed on, or someone close to you has won the lottery, that is an indication to you of how attached you are to a situation beyond your control. You can't control that person passing away. You also can't control them winning the lottery. It is what it is. The feedback that you get from these reactions helps you identify your current belief system. It helps you to fully see where you are right now in terms of your thought process. And it gives you an opportunity to stay in that thought pattern or to choose different for yourself. That's why suppressing our emotions does us a huge disservice, because we remain stuck in cycles when we cannot, or when we are unwilling to acknowledge we are even there in the first place. For example, you hate that a person you consider well off won the lottery because you feel as though they are undeserving. Well, I've got news for you. You thinking they are undeserving doesn't negate the fact that they won the lottery. Acknowledge that you're feeling jealous and use that information as feedback for the work you've got to do to release those feelings. It's not bad to feel jealous. It is just something that happens. You can feel jealous. It's okay to admit that. And then you can also work through that and figure out what it is that you need in your life, what needs to happen in your life for you to feel centered again, for you to achieve an equilibrium, equanimity. That's the word right there, equanimity. Another example is you've been in negotiations with a seller about a home and you put in your best offer. They refuse your offer and go with someone else. You call them every name in the book. You talk about how much you wasted your time, and if they didn't want to do the deal, they shouldn't have done it, and kept going back and forth with you and entertaining you. And oh my gosh, you are so upset. You talking shit doesn't negate the fact that the house is no longer available to you in this moment. Acknowledge how you feel. I feel slighted. I feel disappointed. I feel sadness. I feel inadequate. I don't feel like my negotiating skills are really up to par. Whatever it is that you feel, identify it, feel them, and accept that what has happened has happened. Radical acceptance provides us with the clarity we need to move forward, to not stay stuck in outdated patterns, and to shift, to move into an elevated state of being. So, my final thoughts are this. Imagine this scenario. Picture yourself sitting on a bench and someone you've never met comes up to sit by you. They don't have all of their teeth. Their hair is dirty. Their nails are dirty. Their clothes are dirty. They smell a little rancid. But they come sit next to you. They say hello. They hand you $100. And while handing it to you, they get up and they walk away. What is your reaction? Do you accept the gift? Do you hand it back to them? Do you categorize it as unbelievable and impossible? That'll never happen. I don't like to dabble in hypotheticals, so I won't really get too deep into that. The point is, just because we aren't expecting it to happen doesn't mean that it can't happen. Miracles happen every day. Impossible becomes possible every single day. Just because we aren't expecting it doesn't mean that it can't happen. And when it does happen, what do we do to move forward from that moment? Acceptance provides a key piece of life's puzzle, and that piece is progression. When we can accept that something is what it is, we can detach from it and find a way to move on. Detaching doesn't mean not going through the process of feeling our feelings and dealing with our biases. Detachment, in this sense, means allowing yourself to let go of what doesn't serve you, what doesn't elevate you, what doesn't promote living in the moment, what doesn't promote growth, and what doesn't promote being in this moment. You release it into the wild and are open and ready for today, for this moment, for right now. You don't have to agree with something to accept it. They are not the same. Agreement means you support it. You may not support drunk driving, but it happens. Accepting that it happens is the first step to evoking change. That is the catalyst. Now you can do something about it. You see that it's one of those things that is plaguing the community. What are you going to do about it? You don't have to keep living in the same cycles. You don't have to remain stuck. You don't have to keep wishing for change. You don't have to keep telling that same old story over and over and over again. Today is a day unlike any day you've experienced before, because today is the day you can choose different. Today you can accept what has happened because shit, it's already done. It's happened. That time is spent. That door is closed. New doors await you. You have new possibilities to explore. There are new experiences to live. And most importantly, we have a new outlook to embrace. Lastly, before I sign off, I acknowledge that if you're having a hard time conceptualizing radical acceptance and seeing how it fits into your life, you are not alone. We have very real human experiences, and getting through them can sometimes present itself challenging. Hard isn't impossible. Anything is possible, fam. And radical acceptance in practice opens up a new realm of possibility to you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking the time to listen, to learn, to implement, to explore, and most importantly, I thank you for being you. I'll see you in the next episode. For more dope messages, be sure to visit adailydoseofdope.com and become a member. Also, cop your dope merch at deardopechick.com and follow us on all of our social media at Dear Dope Chick, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, be you, be dope. Love, P.